One of the most unusual occurrences we've seen here in recent days of Wildside. Hey, I'm joined here by Wildside Commissioner Al Getz.
I just got a quick little comment here. Dan the Dragon, what a joke that is. We're here tonight to finish off that good-for-nothing Scottie Wrenn. And I say, what better way to have a match here at the arena than one man to be the special referee, and that'd be, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mr. Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas, we've seen where his stripes are. I know they're vertical right now, but he obviously has some affiliation. Even easily, I'm sure he's getting his palms greased from Steve Martin or somebody.
More than just his palms greased, and sometimes those stripes are...
Jesse Taylor and Steve Martin wisely get out of the way. Good idea. So does the referee, Andrew Thomas, showing some of those true colors. Well, here comes Taylor from behind.
And we're starting off quickly as Taylor attacks Wrenn from behind. Taylor going to work on Scottie Wrenn. Yet another sneak attack perpetrated by Taylor and perpetrated by Mr. Wildside, Steve Martin.
Oh, Scottie Wrenn with a flying elbow right into the mush of Jesse Taylor. Oh, Wrenn charging lariat. Down goes Taylor.
Taylor's advantage very short-lived. It's Scottie Wrenn now on top of the situation. And what Mr. Wildside, Steve Martin, has to realize, he claims to be the star maker. You have to understand, Vince McMahon has basically taken every pro wrestling alternative and destroyed them. Wrestling fans have no other outlet, and what organizations like WCW, ECW, as much as I talk bad about them, Smoky Mountain Wrestling, Mid-Atlantic, Georgia, Portland, World Class, all these wrestling promotions were alternatives for people who did not feed into Vince McMahon's line of sports entertainment. And now Vince McMahon has a virtual monopoly. And if it were up to Steve Martin, he would turn Wildside into the same three-ring circus that Vince McMahon has turned his brand of sports entertainment into. And I will not stand by idly and let Steve Martin do that. That's why I am back. That's why I'm here this week joining you on commentary. Steve Martin, don't forget, I got a match with you. I earned the right to have a match with you whenever I want, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you one of these days, because whatever Al wants, Al gets. Scottie Wrenn almost had the pin there. I'm sorry to get away from the match. I'm all fired up. It's been a while.
You certainly are. I hope to God we never end up in the WWF developmental territory, or we're toast. Good heavens, Al Getz really opening up on Steve Martin. Now Scottie Wrenn going to town on Jesse Taylor. And right now, I'm sure Taylor believes maybe that affiliation with Steve Martin wasn't the best idea in the first place.
Well, you know what? We talk about Steve Martin trying to take over, but lately there have been some chinks in the armor. Several months ago, Terry Knight. More recently, AJ Styles. And just a few weeks ago, Onyx. All three have realized that the man that's going to get them to the big dance, to the big show, to Monday Night Television is not Steve Martin, it's themselves. Steve Martin did not put AJ Styles on Nitro. AJ Styles put himself on Nitro.
He certainly did. One of the most gifted athletes to ever walk down the aisle here at the NCW Arena. And one of the most dangerous, I think maybe the most dangerous, would have to be Scottie Wrenn. And right now, Jesse Taylor is feeling the brunt of the punishment that Wrenn has to offer. And there's plenty to go around, last I checked.
The great thing about the professional wrestling action here in Wildside is these men are given the ball, and it's up to them what they do with it. Several months ago, a man by the name of Caprice Ice Coleman was given the ball. Look what he did with it. Air Paris was given the ball. Look what he did with it. Men like Scottie Wrenn and Jesse Taylor both have held several titles here in Wildside. Just in the last match, we saw Jimmy Rave apparently get handed the ball, and look where he's going with it. These men control their own destiny. They control their own future, not Steve Martin. Jesse Taylor controls his future. Scottie Wrenn controls his future. And right now, the future doesn't look too good for Scottie Wrenn as Taylor has things back his way.
Things look rough indeed, but Steve Martin has been harping on. He was a star maker for the Hardy Boys. He was a star maker for Styles, for Paris. The list goes on ad nauseum. Key word there, nauseum. You're right, it's the athletes themselves. Martin did have a hand in guiding him for this direction here and there, for better, and I should add, for worse sometimes too. But Martin truly believes that without him, there would be no Wildside.
He thinks he's the second coming of Vince McMahon. He's the star maker, but you have to realize Vince McMahon, for all the great characters he's created, don't forget Isaac Yankem, DDS, the Red Rooster, and the Gobbledygooker.
Hey, they're all still working, sort of.
Who's Yankem?
We'll get into this later, Al.
Yankem, I don't even know him. Oh, come on, Andrew.
Andrew, oh, for crying out loud, those shoulders were down, Thomas. Oh, no, now we got Steve Martin going to the ring with that chair. Wrenn's ready to clean the clock of Andrew Martin.
Oh, wait a second. Scottie Wrenn sees a much better target than Andrew Thomas.
How could you miss that gleaming forehead? There's so much of it to be seen.
Steve Martin in big trouble now as Scottie Wrenn's got him by that scrawny little neck of his. Andrew Thomas telling him not to do it. Oh, and here's Taylor from behind.
Jesse Taylor showing his affiliation with Steve Martin, much to the befuddlement and the irritation of all the fans here at the NCW arena. Rear chinlock now dropping Scottie Wrenn right in the back of his head, but Jesse Taylor is feeling the pain as well.
Yeah, but now through that sneak attack, through that subterfuge, and now he's giving him the chair that rightfully belongs to Scottie Wrenn and his former partner, J.C. Daz. It's affectionately known as the Boogaloo Crew chair, but now it's in the hands of Jesse Taylor.
And Taylor is threatening to open up on the head of Scottie Wrenn with it. He's taking his sweet time. What's going on here? Referee Andrew Thomas seems to allowing this. Oh, Terry Knight!
Here comes Terry Knight, the man that the NWA Elite tried to set on fire.
That's right. And a guy who I don't believe Steve Martin has much to talk. Oh, God. Martin hits
you
the
better
ring.
run, Steve.
Good idea. Jesse Taylor now has his chair. So does Terry Knight.
Oh! What the?
Now, this makes no sense. Well, Terry Knight owes the NWA Elite nothing. Mind you, it was the Jeff Bailey axis more than the Steve Martin axis.
But I don't understand how Terry Knight could align himself with the NWA Elite after what they did to him.
When are you gonna learn, Scottie Wrenn? When are you gonna learn? When are you gonna learn, Scottie Wrenn?
Steve Martin is obsessed with having Scottie Wrenn out of professional wrestling. Had the sneak attack.
Andrew Thomas.
With Jesse Taylor not too long ago, and now this.
The winner of the match,
Terry Knight.
because of disqualification, Jesse Taylor.
He disqualified the Scottie Wrenn? What did Scottie Wrenn do to deserve a disqualification? But that's nothing. We have now Terry Knight realigning himself with Steve Martin, Mr. Wildside, and Jesse Taylor. This is absurd.
This is absolutely absurd. This is absolutely ridiculous.
And the referee, Andrew Thomas, I think he's in on it too.
Well, duh. Of course he's in on it. That's pretty obvious, Steve. But I'm telling you, Steve Martin, he's happy now. He might be laughing now.
Terry, just one moment of your time. You know, Jeff G. Bailey's dropped the ball on you. Son, I'm telling you, the Star Maker, you're under my tutelage now, and you're going to be right up there in the main event soon to come. Jesse, you're the man.